मणिः विजयते रामं रमेशं भजे रामेणाभिहता निशाचरचमू रामाय तस्मै नमः रामान्नास्ति परायणं परतरं रामस्य दासोऽस्म्यहम् रामे चित्तलयस्तदा भूत मे भो राम मामुद्धर राम रामेति रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने अय्युण् रुल्रुक् इयोङ् अय्यौच् अयवरट् लण् ज्ञमग्ननम् जबैं गडदश जबगडदश ख फ छ ठ थ च ट तव कृपय शशसर हल इति महाशसूत्राणि. So swagatam everybody. Yeah, I like to start on time so we can, because people are waiting. So I think I got the screen here. Hopefully everybody can see in large print. I think last time we did the we were doing this number 7. We introduced that. So let's continue with number 7. We are in chapter 11. So maybe in the document I'll put this one, verse 7 of chapter 11. Okay. Okay. So Matrivarga Charanasprishau Mune Stau Prapadya Padavim Mahaujasaha Rejatur Gativashat Vartinau Bhaskarasya Madhu Madhava Viva. One more time. So Matri Varga Charanasprishau Mune Stau Prapadya Padavim Mahaujasaha that's a typo by the way in the book. Should be Rejatuhu. That's let me put in the document. That's the type. Unfortunately, the book has some typos. It's not error free, but you should get used to that. Rejatuhu. This is the Nirnay Sagar books. Nirnay Sagar was the glorious press in Bombay about 100 years ago. I think they started around 1850-ish. They went all the way to 1950, but some of the later books, unfortunately, they didn't live up to reputation. But it's still a good book, but it has more typos, and the earlier books of Nirnay Sagar were even more classics. And they have some very, very good books on Bhagavatam, on the Bhagavad Gita, on Ramayanam, on Vyakaranam, on Kavyam, many, many good books. Okay, anyway. So, Rejatur Gati Vashat Pravartinau Bhaskarasya Madhumadhava Viva. So Padacheda now. Padacheda already mostly is done for you, but we can go through it. See Matru Varga Charanas Prishau. That's the first thing down here, and that's a big compound. Matru Varga Charanas Prishau. Then Munehe Tau Prapadya Padavim Mahaujasaha Rejatuhu Gativashat Pravartinau Bhaskarasya Madhu Madhavau Iva. So H-Oyava Sandhi at the end over there. I think nothing, in terms of Sandhi, is nothing really very special. Visarga Sandhi and then H-Oyava Yavaha Sandhi Madhu Madhavau Iva. So that's the, so we have Madhu. I think most of you know these rules now. Madhu Madhavau plus Iva. So let me see, what's the number of this rule? Anybody in the class? Please. Madhu Madhavau. I think Karthik should know this number. Let me see this. Karthik, do you know this number?
Satish, Madhu
Madhav.
Yeah, I'm sorry. 6178. Who said that, by the way? Was that Karthik? Maybe it was Karthik. There was Karthik, I think. Was it you, Karthik?
Yeah, it was me.
Oh, very good. How do you know that, by the way?
The previous one, Eco Energy would be 6177 and it gets the achievement.
Impressed. Very good, very good. See, your progress in this language should be measured by how many Pani Sutras do you know. Most people, don't look at it that way. So I feel that is really the real measure of how much of Vyakaranam do we know, is how many sutras, how many Vartikams do we know. And some of them are simple ones which you can easily master quickly, and they add up. Because after you know a few hundred, the rest you can look up on your own. You don't have to then, because then you can, that part is then easy. And you already know how to move about on your own, like in English. Okay, so as Karthik correctly said, this rule number is 61 Echo Yava Yavaha, 6178. It comes right after the Eco energy, which is 6177. These are all in Samhita Madhikara from 6172 onwards. So a lot of the Achsandi rules, they come in this section. And the Anuvritti of Achi is coming down here. So Echo Yava Yavaha Yatha Sankham Achi Pare. So Au becomes Ava. Okay, so that's straightforward for most of you. So let's now, and then Iva. So the Iva is a classic Kalidasa sign that we have an Upama going over here. So this is, you can say Iva or Yatha or something like that down here. Then we know there is Upama going here. Now what is the verb in this sentence? The verb is Rejatuhu. Rejatuhu. Simple sentence is that, Tau Rejatuhu. Tau Rejatuhu. Tau Rama Lakshmanau Rejatuhu. So always try to get the gist of the sentence first if you can. Because that way, we know other adjectives and things. Even if we don't get all the adjectives or similes, it's okay. We got at least the main thing what he's trying to say we got. Tau Rejatuhu. Dhatu is Raj. Raj is to shine, to look good, Rajate. Now, so if you want, we can tackle that one first and look at the ending Atus. The Atus ending here is a important one to note, and that is the third person dual. Purusha, Dvivachanam. I think Vain, you want to mute yourself, Vain? I think you want to mute yourself. Okay. So second person dual, third person dual. It is a lit lakara. Now in lit lakara, what happens is that first it is parokshe lit. Parokshe lit. So this sutram of Panini comes in the section the Bhute Adhikara. So within the Dhatu Adhikara, Panini has the Bhute Adhikara, the Vartamane Adhikara, and then the Bhavishyati Adhikara. So and they go one after the other. So from 3-2-84 starts Bhute, and then from 3-123 starts Vartamane Lat, and Bhavishyati starts from 3.3. In the beginning of 3.3, there is Bhavishyati. So, if you look at 3.3, Unadaya Bahulam Bhute Bhavishyati, 3.3.3 Bhavishyati. So, within this 3-2-84 onwards, there will be a sutram called Parokshe Lit. Parokshe Lit. And that what it says is that Anadhyatane Lang Parokshe. So 3-2-1-1-5. So 3-2-1-1-5. The reason I'm bringing that up is that because first of all we should know in what meaning we are trying to bring in this lakara. This is 3-2-1-1-5. The lit is defined as parokshe lit. Parokshe means that the speaker has not experienced the action. So kriya, so vaktara na anubhuta. It says he has not experienced the action. Why does it become important for us? Because of the fact that Parokshe lit. Parokshe lit. It becomes important to us because generally it implies only third person forms. Only third person forms. Because if you haven't experienced the action, chances the person that you're talking to also wasn't there. So it's mostly going to be once upon a time. So that's the good news. Vyakaran-wise, you don't have to worry about the second person, first person forms. If you just look at and within that, the first pada is more common, of course. So, and what happens is, I'll give you a sutta number, is those three endings, singular, dual, plural, which we have tip, tas, and ji. The tip gets changed to the null. So tip becomes null. Tip becomes tip to null. And null means if you remove the anubandhas, only a remains. The second ending, that is the most common one. Then tip tas ji. So the tas goes to atus, which is what you have in this shloka, atus. And finally the ji which becomes anti most of the time, that will go to us. So nal atus us, nal atus us. So just remember these three, nal, so the atus and us. So if you see these three coming at the end of a verbal form, you probably want to look at like very first so shloka, I mean, of the Bhagavad Gita, right? Dharashtra uvacha. So uvacha, that O ending is there. Dhatu vach is probably in there. It is third person. Most likely it's going to be lit. Also in lit, most of the time you have two kinds of lit. One is the dvitva lit and the anuprayoga lit. Anuprayoga lit when you use the forms of as, bhu, or kru after the dhatu and the pratyaya am come, like darshayamasa. Those are also easy to spot because you have that am coming in there in between. Darshayamasa, ashvasayamasa in Gita. But the dvitva lit is when you get these two forms, these ending directly after the dhatu. And there is a duplication involved, abhyasa involved. In our case, so we see the pratyaya atus. So from that that is our biggest kind of helper in this shloka to tell us that this is probably going to be a second, third person dual lit laka because of the atus ending. Atus ending. So there is really no other atus ending in verbal forms. We just know that much. If you just look at the atus, you can then make a guess this is going to be the third person dual lit. So that's point number one. These verbal forms, if you know enough of the important rules, it'll take you all the way to to get the meaning, and then then you can look up the remaining rules if you want to. You can look at the remaining rules. So this is a bit of a tough form because the abhyasa has become taken lopaha. Instead of abhyasa, we have an A coming over there. So rejatuhu, so there's no typo in the commentary here, is pranancha saptanam iti vaikalpikau etva abhyasa lopau. Again, our job in this class is to understand what Malinatha is saying. Then, if we understand that, we will easily be able to understand what Kalidasa is saying. So that's the whole purpose of this class, is to understand commentaries. So he's saying Rejatuhu equals Prananam cha Saptanam, Pani Sutram 64125, iti Vaikalpikau etva abhyasa lopo. So we should know enough Vyakaranam to understand this, what he's trying to say. Vaikalpikau etva abhyasa lopo. Even if you don't know this, if you look up 64125, you'll be able to track it down. So let's go there. Let's see if we can. Let's look at 64125. What is 64125 telling us? Any sutram which Malinatha gives, we have to look it up, make it. This is how our knowledge of Panini is going to grow, because the fact that he's giving that means he feels it's important for us. He's not going to give sutra like Echoyavas and your Ikonachi because they are very common, but these we need to know. Okay, so what does this one say? It says Pan Adinam Saptanam Dhatunam Avarnasya Sthane Va Ekara Adesha Bhavati Abhyasalopascha Liti Kiniti Parataha Thalicha Seti Phenatuhu. And here comes the form Rejatuhu, right here. Rejatuhu form is there. Now, if you look at the Nyasa commentary, by the way, the one thing good about this Nyasa commentary, I don't want to be intimidated by these commentaries. The one thing good about this commentary, Nyasa, is first of all, it's a fantastic commentary. This is about more than 1,000 years old, and very beautiful, simple commentary, which is readable, which is readable for us. It's not complicated. In fact, just like we're reading the Malinatha commentary on Kalidasa, you can read the Nyasa commentary on Kashika. That's my whole point, is that you can all these good texts have commentaries, and they make it simple for us. So we need to find them. Of course, they're becoming extinct nowadays, but if you can find them, you can always read them. See what nicely he says, says Phanadinam, he gives dhatus, Phanagatau, Dhatu Patha number 821. So he tells you clearly in the Dhatu Patha what the Dhatu number is. Raju Deeptau, our Dhatu, 822, etc. So all the way it says Ityete Dhvana Vajitaha Phanadeha Sapta. Okay. So Now you also understand now when Dhatu Pata is so carefully composed. So the ordering in Dhatu Pata is very important because Panini has groups. Inside the Dhatu Pata there are ganas which are very carefully put together. And if you look at the Madhava Dhatu Vritti or something, he will tell you why these dhatus are in this particular order. So Pani will put these dhatu, pan, etc. in a line, all 7 in a line, because they will take some special operation. So Panadi now. So that's what is useful to us. So this Nyasa commentary is a fantastic commentary. I mean, just like any other commentary, there are some criticisms also, but that's okay. But what I like about Nyasa is that he will explain in detail the examples, which are given in the Kashika. So very useful for us. Okay. So what is the sutram saying? Is that for these 7 dhatus, avarnasya sthane, in the place of the avarna, not necessarily short but avarna, va ekara adesha bhavati. So he says it optionally takes the ekara, and abhyasa lopascha. Abhyasa takes lopaha. Liti kiniti parataha. Then thalicha, this we don't need for this. Thalicha seti also. If the pratyaya thal is there with the idagama, which we don't have right now. For us, we have kiniti parataha. Okay, so let's complete our form if we can use this information now. To take you back one step, this whole section on the 8th one abhyasa lopa starts from 64120. Okay, so let me maybe try to. Okay, let's go back to 64120. Actually, I could come here. Let me look at this Ashtadhyayi here. The 64120 and 64120 would not apply here. That's why we need this extra row. And not only that, the 64120 is a nitya karyam. It is a compulsory rule, while this one here is a va. Could have been optionally. So 64120, it says that 64120 we should know. We don't have to know 125, but if you know 64120, it does the abhyasa lopa and the 8th one, and it does not apply here for some reason. The conditions are not satisfied. Then you can come down and see what we need to find. If you know the main sutras, you can always look below that to get the further details. So what does 64120 say? Ataha ekahal madhye anadeshade liti. And the abhyasa lopa and 8th one comes from the prior sutram. So if you have a dhatu which has a short a, ataha, ekahal madhye, so on both sides you should have a no sanyoga on either side. Then there should be anadesha adehe. In the abhyasa, it should not take any adesha for the adihal. And it should also be a kit or nit pratyaya. So many conditions. If all that is satisfied, then you get the abhyasa lopa etam. To give you a quick example. If you take a dhatu pat. So take a dhatu pat, and here all the conditions are satisfied. Let's go through the conditions one time. Is that it should have a short a, which we do have. No sanyoga either side, which we also do have. If you add the pat, if you made it the same form, lit form, and bring in the thus and bring it atus. I'm skipping some steps here, because why am I skipping some steps? If you start with pat plus lit, then make lasya, make it thus first, because tiptas ji. That's always the first 2 steps in deriving any verbal form. The dhatu plus lakara. Step number 1. Always, 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 always. Step number 2 is that you, in place of lasya, in place of, you remove the it letters, in place of la, you put tiptas ji or siptas tha, one of those 18 pratyas, as the case may be. These are always the first 2 steps. Then only we go to the next step. Now, after that, in our case, we had the thus becoming atus. Let me give the number for that also. The thus becoming atus, that comes in 3.4. I'll put that number over here. So 3.4, when the lasya adhikara starts. See, this lasya adhikara and end of 3.4 tells you what all substitutions take place based on the lakara. So if it is lit, do this. If it is lung, do that. If it is low, do this. So these are all nitya karyani. Nothing can stop these. Nothing can stop these. So the moment you say lit, the moment you have tas, immediately make it atus. If it's parasmapada, atus. So tas is parasmapada only. So it says parasmapadanam is 3482. Nal atus us, thal atus nalvamaha. So 3482. So this has to be done immediately. So you first do the tip tasji as the case may be, and then immediately look at the lasya adhikara and make whatever substitution is required right there. So 3482. So dhatu pat if we had. Now the one more condition we need is that, well, first we got the akara in between. Secondly is that it has no sanyoga on either side. The third thing we want to make is that there is no vishesh abhyasa karyam for the adi hal. Now all the abhyasa rules, I think I mentioned this few times in this class, they come at the end of 7.4. I think there are only about 5 rules there which are very important. It will give you great bang for the buck if you understand these 5 rules, because they come in different situations. They come in litlakara, they come in sanantas, they come in yangantas, they come in the third gana, sarvadhatuke, like jihotyadi gana they come. So they're very, very important. They're easy rules to look up. So in 7.4, because at the end of 7.4 starts the abhyasasya. What are the rules? 7.459, rasvaha, haladi sheshaha, you can even skip the next one, kuhosh chuhu, and urat. So rasvaha, haladi sheshaha, kuhosh chuhu, and urat. So you just take these 4. Even these 4 are enough to be, so 7.459, 60, 62, 66. 7.459, 60, 62, 66. So check. I'm trying to make this document very friendly. 7.459, 60, 62, and 66. Let's go there one more time and see what they're saying. First is saying that in abhyasa vowel becomes short. If you have a long vowel, it becomes short. Second rule says is that if you in abhyasa, a consonant can remain only if it's the first member. So adi hal shishyate, anye lupyante in abhyasa. So abhyasa bhage. So that's the second rule. Then 62 says the ka varga and the hakara become cha varga. And last one says urat, in place of r you put the short a. Now for us, for the dhatu pat right now, rasva has no effect, because anyway pat dhatu is only a, short a only. Haladi shesha, what will happen is that the ta will drop in abhyasa. So in abhyasa when we do pat, the takara drops. We don't have any ka varga or hakara, we don't have ru. So only ru apply is haladi shesha for us, the ta will drop. One more thing is that when we say abhyasa, what really is taking abhyasa? It is the vowel which takes abhyasa. And then on either side, which are the consonants, they go with that vowel. So really the abhyasa is happening for the a over here. Abhyasa is happening for the a. And then the pa and ta are just tagging along with that abhyasa. So we will have this is what we will have now. Atus. So what would have happened in abhyasa is that only haladi sheshaha would have happened here. And that one, so that was the only rule which would have applied, and that is the 7.460. Only 7.460 would have applied in abhyasa, would have applied. So why do we need all of this right now? Because that 6.4.120, which is a very important rule, which I like you to remember if you can going forward. If you see in the abhyasa dropping away and an A coming in there in the lit lakara, immediately come to 6.4.120 and the rules below it. Because these two go together. So if you see abhyasa dropping, you should see an A coming over there. They always go together. So they're kind of easy to spot. Once you know this phenomenon, it's easy to spot. You see a lit ending, you see the null atus or us, and you see the abhyasa gone away, and then A is coming. That A mostly comes in place of the short a. In our case, it's an exception. It's going to be in place of long a is coming. Now, one of the conditions of 64120 is that there should be no Vishesha Abhyasa Adesha. There should be no Vishesha Adesha for the Adi Hal. Now, for the Adi Hal was only Pa. Pa will remain Pa only. So it will not. So in short, what is happening here is that 64120 is saying that any special Abhyasa effect should not be lost. So Abhyasa Lopaha cannot happen if there is a special Abhyasa effect for that Adi. For example, if you take the Dhatu, some of the Dhatu, like you take Bhaj. If Bhaj, what happened is that, oh, by the way, I forgot one more thing. There's one important rule in Abhyasa which is not in this section of 7.4. And that comes in 8.4, Abhyase Charcha. Abhyase Charcha. Now, that rule Abhyase Charcha is put over this 8.4.54 because Anuvritti is available there. So there's one important rule and 8.4.54. This 8.4.54 is a little bit sneaky because it's not in that section. But it's put there because of the fact that you get the Anuvrittis. If you take a Dhatu Bhaj, then as a first stop, 8.6.4.120 won't apply because the Bha becomes Ba. So that Bha loses the Mahaprana, becomes Alpa Prana. So that is why you could not apply 6.4.1. But in our case, Pat, the Pa remains Pa only. Now that to finish up that one, why did we duplicate the A only? Because it says this all comes in the beginning of 6.1. In the beginning of 6.1, there are only a few rules which say when do you do Abhyasa? When do you do Abhyasa? Because lit came, we jumped to Abhyasa, but why? What was the reason for that? It's at the very beginning of 6.1. It says Ekacho Dve Prathamasya. So the Ekacha Bhagaha. So Prathamasya Ekacha Bhagasya Dve Bhavati. Dve Bhavataha. So you take the part of the dhatu which has only one ach. Remember, on either side the consonants will tag along with it. So in our case we have only one ach because we have pat. So the prathama ekacha bhagaha is pat only. Unless if it is ajadi dhatu, you take the second ekach bhagaha, which is very rare. So don't worry about that. The 611 is the rule, and this one, see, 618 says liti dhatu anabhyasasya. Liti dhatu anabhyasasya. Liti dhatu anabhyasasya. So when lit pratyaya follows, the dhatu will take abhyasa one time. So really I should put 618 over here. This tinganta prakriya is the heart of Panini. Is the heart of Panini. Because if you try to understand that, it will give you a lot more confidence to understand rest of Panini. That's 618. And there are only dhatus are only few hundred as in usage. You only have 10 lakaras. And not only that, two more important things. The dhatu is the heart of the sentence, and they are well behaved. And they are well behaved. So you can get the gist of the sentence very quickly if you can master Tinganta Prakriya. And Panini see, without Panini Vyakaranam, this Dhatu Prakriya, Durlabha, it is very difficult. Okay, so this 7460 would have applied, but that's the only one which is remove the takara. There is no adi hal adesha. There is no adi because we looked at 64120 and it says that anadesh adehe. Anadesh adehe. So there should be no adi adesha. So dhatu pat, there's one last piece to all of this. I know it's a complicated rule, so don't worry if you don't remember all these conditions. Which is going to come. This rule is not in Bhagavad Gita. There's no example for this in Bhagavad Gita. It's not there. But it is an important rule which doesn't have application in Bhagavad Gita, but still an important rule. And if you don't remember all the conditions, okay. At least remember the 64120 has 4 or 5 conditions. We've done 3 of them so far. The last condition is that the pratyaya should be kit or nit. Now, the kit pratyaya comes in the beginning of 1.2. Panini has about 25 odd rules which tell us in this language, in this Vyakaranam, what is kit and what is nit. Of course, sometimes you have the kit actually as an it present there, sakshat drishyate. But when we don't have it, when you have to do the kind of the extension, what becomes kit and nit is given in the first about 20, of 1.2. So up to first 26 rules of 1.2. So 1.2, the first 26 rules of 1.2, they tell you what is in this language becomes kit in it. And there we have one important rule which says asanyoga lit kita. Asanyoga lit kita. So if sanyoga is not there, then apit lit kit syat. Apit lit kit syat. So it should be apit to begin with. So when you have tip tashji, this tip, when the tip is replaced by null, the null will never become kit because it came in place of tip, and tip had this spurs in it. But these other two, the atus and the us, they come in place of tas and ji respectively. So they will become kit pratyayas if no sanyoga precedes. So by that rule 125, we have the final piece of this final condition is satisfied, and we have, so 1.2 by 1.2, 125 by 125, the atus is a kit pratyaya. So atus is a kit. Kit means that which has occurs in it, kit pratyaya. That was the last condition. So one more last time. We need dhatu with an akara in between. Only short a, rasva, ataha, should be asanyoga on either side. It should be what Pani says, ekahal madhye. Third condition is that it should not have any special abhyasa effect for the adi hal. And last condition, there should be kit or nit. And all that is satisfied dhatu pat. So then what happened, it will become petatuhu. So the form would have become petatuhu is the form, petatuhu, because you get the abhyasa lopaha. So two things happen simultaneously. We get the abhyasa lopaha, and you get the ekara in place of the akara, petatuhu. Now what do we have right now? So this is the important beginning rule 64120. Did I put that down here? Okay. Okay. So 64120 is the one that I want to highlight for you. Now this one Malinatha may not give. This we are supposed to know. If it was just a form of 64120, Malinatha may not give that. We probably won't give that. But he will give the exceptions. Now why did 64120 not apply to us right now? Because we had the dhatu Raj. Our dhatu is Raj. So we don't have the short a in between. We don't have short a. We have long a. So the very first condition is not satisfied for us. Because we have the long a, we cannot use 64120. So then below 64120, Panini has some extra rules. And one of them applies to our situation. That's why Malinatha gives us 64125. Because he knows you may not know 64125. You probably know 64120. So what does 125 say then? First of all, 125 has a va in that. So this vaikalpikam karyam. And secondly, he is telling you that only these 7 dhatus, pranadi dhatus, they will take, so directly dhatus are enumerated for us. So it's already listed out for you. So you don't have to worry about any conditions now. Now Panini is saying is that these 5 dhatus, these 7 dhatus rather, they will take the abhyasa lopa and etvam. But still, if you look at the vritti, it will have to be the apit. It has to be kitnit pratyaya falling. That still is holding there. So only thing is that in our case, what condition is being relaxed is that it is not a short a, it's long a in between. So this long a will become a and abhyasa lopaha, and we are going to get the atus pratyaya. So that's how we got the form. We got the form rejatuho. So I'm not putting all the steps again. We already went through that. So we got the form rejatuho. So this would have been an optional form. You could also had with the abhyasa still there. So we got rejatuho. So going back to the shloka, so I put number 64125 over here. So that directly lists these 7 dhatus, which take this effect of the abhyasa lopa and etvam. Okay, so coming back to, so that we got the dhatu rejatuhu, and that what does he say? Iti vaikalpikau etva abhyasa lopau. So these two, dve karye, these two operations are optional. So vaikalpikau. So we got this part of the commentary, right? Pranana Saptana. Okay. Now, that was the dhatu. So simple sentence is Rama Lakshmanau Rejatuhu. Now, there is one clause in here. And the clause is Mahojasaha Padavim Prapadya. Munehe. Mahojasaha Munehe Padavim Prapadya. So Munehe clearly is in this case Shashti Ekavachan of Muni Shabda. I think we don't have to go details of that. I think most of you know that. Only sutram is Ghed Niti. Ghed Niti does the guna. Ghed Niti. So when this Ghi Sanya comes, anyway, I won't go in detail of that. That you can look it up in Siddhanta Kaumudi or Laghu Siddhanta Kaumudi. So Munehe is Shashti Ekavachan of Muni Shabda. And then Mahojas is a Pratipadikam. So Mahat Ojaha Yasya Saha Mahojasaha. Now that Mahojasaha could be going on either side of the simile, because if I look what he has done down here, he says Mahojasaha Munehe Padavim, then Mahojasaha Bhaskarasya. This is also one thing you can notice in these Kavya Granthas. They employ Dehali Deepa Nyaya. Dehali Deepa. You know, capital of India is Delhi, right? That's the doorstep of India is Delhi. So Dehali Deepa Nyaya is when they put something in between like that, between two clauses or two statements, then it connects on either side. Like when you place a lamp on the doorstep, it lights the inside and the outside. It's called Dehali Deepa Nyaya. So this one in between, Mahojasaha, will connect to the Munehe and also the Bhaskarasya. So and Mulinathak makes it clear for us. He says Mahojasaha Munehe, Mahojasaha Bhaskarasya. So and we went to the Vigraha Vakyam. He does not give you a Vigraha Vakyam. But by this time he expects us to know the simple Bahuvrihis. It says that Mahat Ojaha Yasya Saha. One whose glory or luster or power is great. One of great power. Mahojasa. Very, very powerful. Now, how did only thing happening is this Mahat is becoming Maha. Now, all these rules where you have something happening to the Purva Padam, Uttara Pade Sati, in the compound, what happens to Purva Padam? These are all come in the 6.3 of Ashtadhyayi. In 6.3 are all the rules when you have Uttara Pade. Because how do I know that? Because in 6.3.1, Panini has put the term Uttara Pade. Uttara Pade. So when Uttara Pada follows, then what happens to the left hand side? Uttara Pade. And there we have Sutram An Mahataha. 6.3.46 is the Mahat takes the Adesha, Alontyasya, At Mahataha. Samanadhikarane Jatiya Yoho. So when only whether it requires a Samadhikaranam or this Jatiya Pratyaya, which you don't have to worry about, but Samadhikaranam. So here, what was the Vigraha Vakyam? Mahad Ojaha Yasya Saha. So Mahat and Ojaha are in Samadhikaranam. They refer to the same thing. Then only can we apply 6.3.46. So, and this commentator has not given us this Vigraha Vakyam. That means that you have to go for the straightforward Vigraha Vakyam. Don't rack your brain too much, because the fact that he is not giving it to you means that he expects you to take the straightforward meaning. Understand that also. When the commentator does not give you something, that implies that we don't have to do anything special with that one. Okay. So Mahan Ojaha. Mahan Ojaha Yasya Saha. Yasya Saha. In this case applies to Vishwamitraha and also Bhaskaraha. Either one of them. It connects on both sides. So Yasya Saha. And we are using 6.3.46, I think it was, to change Mahat to Maha, and that'll give us the. And then of course you do the Vruddhirechi, make it Mahaujasaha. So Mahat changes to Maha. I hope you find this document useful. We're trying to make this document nice and clean, and Wayne has been nice to upload this document for everybody to use. So hopefully it is useful. So Mahat goes to Maha. And that's really the 6-3. And then Vriddhi Rechi, you all know how to use that. So I won't put that here. So Mahaujasaha. So Mahaujas Pratipadikam. The Shashti Ekvachanam. Mahaujasaha. Mahaujasaha Munehe. Mahaujasaha Bhaskarasyapi. So it goes both ways. So Shashti means make the Sambandha. Shashti means Sambandha. Sambandha means you have to make the connection with another noun or adjective. Don't leave the Shashti until you make the connection. That because Shashtis are not important shloka. The Shashtis can be left out for the beginning to get the shloka. So Mahaujasaha Munehe Padavim. That's the connection. So once you made that connection, the Shashtis are not needed anymore. You can leave them out now. And then that Padavim is Dvitiya Ekavachanam. It has to be the karma of some dhatu somewhere, or maybe connected to an avyaya somewhere. It is Prapadya. Padavim Prapadya means Prapya. Let's see what he says. Prapadya, any commentary on that? No commentary. So Prapadya means having reached, having attained. Also means to surrender. Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Bhagavad Gita. Let's get some Gita action going. Bhagavad Gita is Shadimam Tvam Prapannam. Is Adhyay 2, Shloka number 7. Adhyay 2, Shloka number 7. Shadiman Tam Prapannam. So it also means to surrender to somebody. Because beautiful shloka, it says, Shadiman Tam Prapannam. So Arjuna says, please teach me. I am your student. Shishyasteham. I am your student. Please teach me. Because I am surrendered to you. Tam Prapannam. Okay, anyway. The same dhatu prapad is coming in Gita. Prapannam. But here it just means to reach, having it can mean to attain also. So having reached the station, the status, or Padavim can be status also, but having reached, I think the Muni's where the Muni was, the Muni's place, having reached his, having come close to him, having approached him, Prapadya. Now what is Prapadya? What form is this? Prapadya. It's called Jaran form, Tvanta Vyaya. Is Tvanta Vyaya. When is the Pratyaya Tva used? Is Samana Kartrikayoho Purvakale. Samana Kartrikayoho Purvakale. When there is a Samana Karta and the Purvavartini Kriya, that dhatu will take the Tva Pratyaya, and that Tva will become Lyap when you have a Samasa. Samase Anyam Purve Tvo Lyap. Samase Anyam Purve Tvo Lyap. So in short, if the Upasarga is there, or some other ways, some Gati Sanya, anyway it's formed in compound, most common Upasargas, then the, so like it says, Anityam Asukam Lokam Imam Prapya Bhajasamam, Bhagavad Gita, Imam Prapya Bhajasamam, so Prapya. So then this Tva becomes Ya. So there are many Yas in this language. The Ya with the A, very confusing. This one creates an Avyaya. So the first sutra we want to use is that Samana Kartrika Yoho Purvakale. So dhatu is pra plus pad, and you would have had the pratyaya tva. But because it's gone into a compound now, instead of tva, you're going to get the ya. And the good thing about this ya is that it is not valadi. Valadi, so it cannot take any idagama. So it's very well behaved. It doesn't do any guna anything also, because it came in place of the twa. The twa has kars in it. So it's the prakriya is very easy. So very commonly used pratyaya, because very nice to form. No don't have to worry about it. So it's 3-4-21 is a sutram. So prapadya, we have to start with, let's go to 3-4-21 for a second. And that will begin the twa pratyaya, then twa has to become lyap. That will be the second operation. So as I mentioned to you that in Ashtadhyayi, the Adhyayas 3, 4 and 5. Adhyayas 3, 4 and 5. They put all the blocks together. They don't do many interactions. Then when you come to 6, 7, 8, you have to do the interactions. You should do guna, do samprasaranam, do lopaha, do vriddhi, do change some adeshas, some that. All that comes in 6, 7, 8 mostly. The 3, 4, 5 only put, that's why the Ashtadhyayi is organized that way. So here says samana kartrikayoho purvakala, and within 3, 4, and 5, if you are doing any pratyaya after a dhatu, it has to come in the third adhyaya. So to bring in any aspects after a dhatu, there has to be some sutra in the third adhyaya ashtadhyayi, which you can use, and that's this one is this samana kartrikayoho purvakale. So Twa is coming. So once we apply 3, 4, 21, so let me put on our document, make it so we have. So the good thing about this Twa pratyaya, and of course which becomes Lyap, is that it gives a good structure to the sentence. The structure to the sentence is very nicely developed. So you can you know what to expect. You know what to expect. So this pratyaya Twa was coming, and then what happened, and that was 3, 4, 21 we used. And after 3, 4, 21, then we have to make the Twa into Lyap. I think that will come in 7.1. See, now the blocks are in place. The pra, pad, Twa has been formed. You got the meaning also, that there's somebody doing two actions. Same doer doing two actions. And this is the earlier action. That's going to take the Twa. So you got the meaning, you got the pratyaya. Now all we need to do is you may need to make a substitution for Lyap in place of Twa. And that will not be in Adhyaya 3, 4, or 5. It will be in the Angasya Adhikara. And one more thing is that all these pratyaya adeshas, they come in the beginning of 7.1. So when I was learning Vyakaranam, I must have heard this 1,000 times. If you want to do any pratyaya adesha, when one pratyaya completely changes to become a different pratyaya, always go to 7.1, 7.1, 7.1, Purva Bhage. So Saptamasya Adhyayasya Prathamasya Padasya Adav. It's in the beginning part of, I think 7.130 something. Yeah, here it is 7.137. Samase, it should be a samasa anyang purve. Should not be a negation samasa. If you have dhatu kritva, become akritva. So that akritva, will you not get the ya over there. Anyang purve. Tvo lyap. In place of tva, get lyap. So 7.137. Once you do, then once you apply 7.137, then you get the form prapadya. So now who is the samana karta here? It is going to be Rama Lakshmana. Okay, one more thing while we're doing so many sutras, I'll give you one more sutram, is what makes this into an avyaya. What makes this into an avyaya is there are only, in Ashtadhyaya, there are only 5 sutras, which tell you what can be an avyaya. What can be an avyaya. And they are 1:137 to 41. 1:137 to 41. So if something is an avyaya in this language, it better be in those 5. It has to be. Otherwise, it is not an avyaya. Of course, that it will expand to other things. But you have to find one of those 5 sutras, 1:137 to 1:141, to make an avyaya in this language. Nothing else. It has to be in it. So in fact, the book which is published by this in Chennai, very beautiful book called Avyaya Koshaha. Avyaya Koshaha. It gives all the avyayas listed out for you. You should buy that book. It's a very good reference book for you. It only costs about $1. It's amazing how these scholars spend their life for us to just make all these books. So that entire book refers to these 5 sutras. The entire book on these 5 sutras. So here called Swaradi Nipatam Avyayam. So 37, 1:137, 38, 39, 40, 41. Within that 40 says Tva Tosun Kasunaha. So you have this Tva Pratyaya listed specifically here. So 1:140 makes the Tva into an Avyaya. Tvanta become Avyaya. And then in place of Tva came Lyap, that also will retain the Avyaya status. So 1:1, I think it was 1:140, right? Yeah, so 1:140. Tva, Tosun, Kasunaha. So these 3 pratyayas, Tva, Ktva, Tosun, Kasun. These are only Vedic pratyayas. Tosun and Kasun, we don't have these. So don't worry about these. So only Tva basically for us. So 1:140 is the one that we have to look at. So 1:140. So that's what makes it into we get the, makes it into an indeclinable. So remember now, indeclinable. So if you have an indeclinable, you have to use one of these 5 rules. So come back to the shloka. So this is very, once you see a twa or a twa becoming lyap, it's a very good sign because you got the structure now. So these two Rama Lakshmana, having reached the place, having come close to, in English, having approached, like having approached, or approaching. So padavim prapadya. Literally it means having attained the status, having attained the position. But it means having approached the very powerful Muni. Okay? And there's one adject. Then so that is the first action. Then the second, Rejatu was the second action. So having reached there, they looked very good. They shone. They shone, the two of them. That's the basic sentence. Now, and then we have the simile. This remaining part of the sentence is just a simile. From here to here is only the upama. Now, there's one adjective for this Rama Lakshmana. Now, what did it say? Matra, Varga, Charana, Sprushav. So, Matra means mother. Varga means the group of them, group or class of them. Charana means the foot. Sprush is to touch. So, this is a masculine nominative dual form qualifying Rama Lakshmana. So, Matra, Varga, Charana, Sprushav, Rama Lakshmana. So, here the Prajapadikam is Matra, Varga, Charana, Sprush. Charana, Sprush. So, it is going to be a Talavya Shakarantapad. This is not Ramava Shabda. This is not Ramava Shabda. We know, even though it could have been, because Rama also becomes Rama. So we don't know just looking at the form, but the dhatu sprush at the end. So this really is the Prajapadikam is Charana Sprushav. So cha, ra, na. I'm sorry, Prajapadikam is Charana Sprush. Charana Sprush is the Prajapadikam, and then you add the ending au, become Charana Sprushav. Now what Malinatha says, look at the commentary now. Look at the commentary. Let's because what is the commentator's job is every samasa. It is a job of the commentator to give you the Vigraha Vakyam. If he's not giving it to you, that means it's going to be something simple, something you had before, something which should be straightforward. Otherwise, he's supposed to give you. It means not in Vedanta Grantha. Even there they'll give you most of the difficult ones. But at least here in Kavya and Vyakaranam, they should give you many of them. If he's not giving you, that means that you should be easy on your own. So what is he saying now? Matra Vargasya. Now look at that. He already collapsed one for us. He meant Matra Varga already. Because we should be able to do it on our own now. So this is Shashti Tatpurushaha. This is the most common compound in the whole language. Is Shashti Tatpurushaha. Is that like Puja Swamiji at Arsha Vidya Gurukul also says, once you find Shashti Tatpurushaha, don't look left or right. just take it, because that's going to be the easiest thing you can get in Vyakaranam is this one, the Shashti Tatpurushaha. So you can take that Matru Vargasya is Matrinam Vargaha, Matru Vargaha. So Malinatha wants us to do it on our own. Next he says, Matru Vargasya Charanan. This is also Shashti Tatpurushaha. So Matru Vargasya Charanan Sprushataha iti Matru Varga Charana Sprushav. Now, this is the key over here now, this Sprushataha. Sprushataha means those two were such that they were touching the feet of the group of mothers. So when you see a Tinganta Padam in the Vigraha Vakyam, you should know that you're dealing with a Upapada Samasaha. When you see a Tingantam Padam in the Vigraha Vakyam, I know I mentioned this many times, but one more time, because these are sometimes hard for people to kind of decipher. So look at the Vigraha Vakyam. If you see a Tingantam Padam, Sprushataha is coming. Sprushataha is a verbal form. Normally you will not have a verb in the Vigraha Vakyam of a Samasa. Like Raja Purusha, Rajnya Purusha, Raja Purusha. But here you do have. So that means we are going to be dealing with a Upapada Samasa. Upapada Samasa means that there is a dhatu in there, just taken some affix, but on the condition that there is something, it is compounding with Upapada. So this the word sprush will not stand on its own like that in this form. It requires that Upapada means that left hand side of the compound to be there. Of course, in this case, he's being very kind to us. He's giving a sutra itself, he's giving it here. First of all, he's giving us, we'll go through that in a second, he's giving us a paryaya shabda. Krita, Matra, Varga, Namaskarau. And in this class, you're going to in great detail, because once you learn the details, you can read on your own other things, So I don't want to gloss over things and give you, just overview, because the idea of the class is to give you enough details so you can then on your own read other things and understand them. So Krita Matra Varga Namaskarau. So they were two who had Krita, who had done. Say Matra Varga Namaskaraha. So those were two who had paid their respects to the group of mothers. So this is his way of rephrasing the samasa. So he took a upapada samasa, he made bahuvri for you. Bahuvri is easy to understand for us in this case. So Krita Matra Varga Namaskarau. So what does it mean they were touching their feet? Means they were paying the respects to her, to them, what it says. And then he says, Sprishaha Anudake Quin. Iti Quin Pratyaha. So that's what he's telling us. So look at his Vigraha Vakyam. First of all, we can now forget about the Matru Varga over here, because that's only tagging on to the Charana. So once we have done this part of it, make it like in mathematics, you put these brackets over there. So Matru Varga Charana, once you make that, we don't need to now keep on repeating this all the time. Let's only deal with the Charana Sprish only. So that only if we can form Charana Sprish, because that Matru Varga is only tagging on to the Charana part of it. So that's now become one bracket. So Matru Varga Charana is become one unit now. So we only going to take it from Charana plus Sprish. So and he has already given the Vigraha Vakyam over here. It's become Charanan, he has made it. So we can because there are many mothers. Not if there's only one mother, should make it Charanau. But they have what, 3 mothers, right? So then you have 6 feet. So you have to make it then Charana plus Shas. That is the Dvitiya. Actually, I should not make it like that. It is complication. I'll explain this in 1 second. What I'm writing here is what is called as the Alaukika Vigraha Vakyam. So Alaukika Vigraha means the technical decomposition of the compound. It's technical terms. So Charana Sprish, and then we have this. The commentator will not give you. He will not give you this because he expects you to know Vyakaranam. He's not going to give you like that in the commentary. This statement, Charana plus Am plus Purush plus Quin, is expected to form on your own by looking at this statement that he's given you. So when he says Charanan Sprishataha, the dual form, Sprishataha, you get 2 of them, right? Iti Charana Sprishau, then he expects you to come back and do this on your own, which is, he's already told you Pratyaya is Quin. Now, why do I put the arm here? I know we had this in yesterday's class, but I'll explain. Because he has put Charanan, Dvitiya Bhavavachanam. When I made the Alaukika Vigraha, I put the Pratyaya arm in there, Shashti Bhavavachanam. Okay, I'll give you a quick thing over here is that normally karma takes Dvitiya, Karmani Dvitiya. But if you have a Krit Pratyaya there, then you have to use Shashti. So when you say for example Krishnasya Hasanam, so this is the Krishna's laugh, Krishnasya Hasanam. So it is say, no, actually that will be that is the Karta also. So Karma and Karta. It says this one is better. That's a better example. The example that I want is Jagatah Karta. So Jagataha Karta. So he is the maker of the world. So Jagataha Karta. You don't say Jagat, and so you say Vishwasya Karta. You don't say Vishwam Karta. It's Vishwasya Karta. So Shashti has to be used when you have a karma in connection with a Krit Pratyaya. And that sutram is 2365, Karta Karmano Kriti. I know we had this yesterday, but repeating for today's people, is 2322 is Karmani Dvitiya. That's the default of Dvitiya. When you have karma, you should take Dvitiya. But that gets overruled by 2365. It says Karta Karmano Kriti. And then finally, that is a counter exception in 2369. Na loka vyaya nishtakalar tatranam. So if you have these particular pratyas, then go back to Dvitiya. So in the Vigraha Vakyam, when he gave us the Sprushataha, there, this is not a, because Sprushataha, Kruda thing. This is a thing pratyaya. So this is not a Krut pratyaya at all, because Krud a thing. So when you put the tip, tasji, etc., they are not Krut pratyas, Krud a thing. So here only Karmani Dvitiya. So they don't have to, but when in the Vigraha Vakyam, when we don't have the Krut pratyaya over here, so you have to make it Am. This is a bit tricky, because normally you can take the Vigraha Vakyam and then make it the same vibhakti as given the Vigraha Vakyam. So Charanan Sprushataha, you should have said Charana plus Shastra Sprushat, but plus Sprush, because you should use Dvitiya Bahuvachanam. But because of this complication of Krut pratyaya coming here to use the Am. Anyway, that's just going to go away anyway. That Am goes away after all this. The Am goes away by Supo Dhatu Pradipadika Yoho. I think it's 2471. Supo Dhatu Pradipadika Yoho. Within the Pradipadikam, you cannot have a Sub pratyaya remaining. Within a Pradipadikam or a Dhatu, a Sub cannot stay. So that's 2471. Supo Dhatu Pradipadika Yoho. That's going to remove that Am, or it wouldn't make a difference in the form anyway. But technically speaking, it should be Am. It should not be used as S. So that's we can make that next step. In the Quin pratyaya, by the way, I should make it like this actually. I should make the Quin. It has the the Quin actually is completely zero. Sarvapahara lopaha. The Quin is actually just a zero. Now, what is the reason of putting the zero there? What could we do? Could we do without the zero? The reason of putting the zero is that is going to convert the dhatu and make it into a pratipadikam. You cannot decline the dhatu just like that. Why is that? Because of niya pratipadikat. So 4-1, 4-1-2, niya pratipadikat. So this zero does the function of converting the dhatu into a pratipadikam. So because of then only we can decline, make it into a noun or an adjective. So this ni ap pratipadikat 4-1-1. So that's why Pani puts this zero. So what is zero by? I think by this time you should know all these rules. Is the what makes the it sanya comes beginning of 1.3, and it is halantyam. So I think from 132 to 138 are all these rules. So one is the ending hal is an it. Then lashakvatadhite is the beginning ka varga pratyadi. So lakara, shakara, and ka varga is an it. If the pratyaya is not tadhita, then the e is an it by upadesha ajanunasika it, which is 132. So only the va remains. Now this va technically is not an it. Actually the va takes lopaha. So I'll put that number over here. Maybe I'll put in the next line. So how it becomes a zero is that number is you have to check from 132 to 139. 13 I think is 138. Are all these? It's once after you're done applying those, only the va will remain. Because again, the na is by halantyam, the e is upadesh ajananasika it, the ka is by lashakvatadhite, and then remains only the va. And that va is elided by the verapuktasya. What does the sutram say? That if you have only the va remaining behind, the va of the v remaining behind alone with nothing else, then that also goes away. Verapuktasya. So that this va also goes away. And that's why 6-1 Verapuktasya will be right here, 6167. But 6167 when you use, that will remove the whole thing and become a zero. And then by 2471 we remove the arm also, and we get Charana Sprush. So that's the whole process of this from this compound of Charana Sprush. And that is what Malinatha has given to us. Now what is very quickly, what is the function of this quin coming in? It's also quip, which is zero. Why did Panini use a quin pratyaya here and not the default quip? The reason is that because the quin pratyaya makes the kavarga adesha at the end. So if you want to make a prathama ekavachanam out of this, you make a charana sprik. So that it will force the kavarga adesha when declined. So if you when declined, let's say masculine nominative singular, then you will get the form charana sprik. Of course, we have a dual form right now, so we don't see the effect of the quin because we have a dual form. So we're not able to appreciate the quin effect of the quin right now, but it would become charana sprik in the singular form. So and that sutram is, first let's check this. Let me put 2441 over here. So that's what removes the am pratyaya, which is the supo dhatu prajapadika yoho, removes the am pratyaya, 2441. Just double check that, 2441. And then finally we can see the sutram which Malinath has given, which is to give the quin pratyaya. That's correct. So now the other one which he has given to us is the 3258, and specifically gives a dhatu sprish. This dhatu sprish, if it has an upapada, which is not udaka, not water, the word udaka, then quin is used, the quin pratyaya. And the effect of that quin pratyaya is in the sutram quin pratyasya kuhu. So if it were to be I think the condition for that is padanta. So if you have a padanta for the quin pratyaya, then you will have taken the kavarga adesha. But we don't have that. It's 8262. So we go to 8262 for a second here. So that is speciality of the quip is that 8262. Look at it for 1 second, then we'll move on. But it didn't have any effect for us in this shloka because we have only a dual form. So 8262 is quin pratyasya kuhu. So when Pani wants to force the kavarga at the end, see padasyati vartate. So it's padanta only. We don't have padanta. Okay. So he says grita sprik, example giving grita sprik, one who's touching the ghee, grita sprik, mantra sprik, etc. Okay. So that was the whole prakriya of that one, 3 to 15, 58. We got the 0. Finally, we come to the upama. Is madhu madhavau iva. So bhaskarasya, and again start matching vibhaktis. We've been through this many times now. When you have an upama, you have to match the vibhaktis on both sides. So you have munehe and bhaskarasya down here. So munehe was shashti ekvachanam and bhaskarasya down here. And both are qualified by mahojasaha. Qualified both of here. Then you have madhu madhavau, which is dual, prathama dvivachanam. It'll match with the Rama Lakshmana. Okay. There's one more adjective for madhu. Madhu and madhava is, look at the commentary down here. Is this madhu is the chaitra masa. So this is springtime, chaitra masa. He says, and he's quoting from Amar Koshaha. Syat chaitre chaitrikaha madhuhu. So chaitraha, chaitrikaha and madhu, they mean the same thing. And then Vaishakha is the Madhava. So Vaishakhe Madhavo Radhaha iti amaraha. So these are the 2 months. Now these have some special meaning. I think dhatu is man over here, man. So manyante jananti visheshena asmin iti madhuho. These are unadi pratyas, So they are like a little bit of an extension. See, unadi pratyas are not discussed by Panini in detail. He just refers to them because they are in the gray area of Vyakaranam. So do we accept the madhu as it is, or do we go to an etymology and find a dhatu inside that? So madhu means it is the month in which people can think clearly again after the winter time is gone. And then the second one is madhavaha, is that which is in which there is madhu, and that one is because I think the flowers have honey at that time. So that one is madhava. Anyway. So whatever the etymology might be, the chaitra is madhu and the vaishakha is madhava. So this is a good way to expand a vocabulary. So Rama Lakshmana looked like the 2 spring months, like I guess they were brilliant and they looked good. So like Madhu and Madhava. The one more adjective is there for them is Gati Vashat Pravartinau. Gati Vashat. So you know in the astronomy, right? So the sun moves from zodiac sign to zodiac sign. So he says Gati Vashat. And what's the commentary on that? He says Mesha Adi Rashi Sankranti Anusarat. So when the sun moves to the Mesha Adi Rashis, that gives rise to the months. The months come turn by turn. So Bhaskarasya Gati Vashat Pravartinau. That can also connect to both sides, by the way. When Rama Lakshmana are heading out, Pravartinau, because of the coming of the Muni. Same thing when the sun comes into that zodiac sign, the months proceed. So months proceed. So just like Rama Lakshmana proceeded from the palace, because the Muni came to the palace. So the sun went to the zodiac sign, and that's how these months proceeded. So that's the kavyam that you have here. So these Rama Lakshmana is compared to the Chaitra Vaishakha. Chaitra Vaishakhau iva, and Bhaskarasya Gati Vashat. Vasha means on account of, under control of, or due to. Basically it just means due to. It's Pranchami Ekavachanam. So due to the movement of the sun. So they were like these 2 months which had proceeded, which had kind of sprung into action based on the due to the movement of the sun. I think we got the whole commentary, most commentary that we got. Did we leave anything out here? I think we got the whole commentary. Let's go to the translation now. Okay, let's see. Maybe who can do this? Maybe Anup can do this for me. It's easy for Anup, right? Try Anup. Anup, are you there?
Yeah.
Okay. So it says, having bowed down before their mothers.
Matra Varga Charana Sprushau Prapadya.
No, not Prapadya.
Not
Prapadya.
No, I got confused with the having.
Yeah, the having, because he has made it like a clause, you know.
Right. He made a clause. Sprushau.
So they followed. What is the they?
They is Ram Lakshmana, and Tau was there, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then followed.
Followed.
She's Prapadya.
Prapadya is the followed. Okay.
Yes,
yeah.
they made it followed. So I think following is really following.
Having followed. Yeah.
Or having followed.
On following, yeah.
So, on following. So in the wake, what is the wake?
Padvim.
Padavim. The illustrious.
Illustrious is Mahojasaha.
Mahojasaha. Sage is
Munehe.
Munehe. So after sage Munehe. Now shining.
Rejatuhu.
So they shone. So
they
you reverse
yeah.
them. So you reverse these two things. He said
Right.
followed and shine. Should be having followed, they shone really.
Right.
Okay, so shining. So like, what is like?
Iva.
Now Madhu and Madhava he hasn't given. This will be Chaitra and Vaishak, the 2 months of the spring season. Now, whose advent is brought about? Okay, let's see. Now,
Gati
whose advent? Advent is
Gati.
It probably is
Gati, right?
Pravartinau probably. Pravartinau. And it's
Advent
brought about
is Vashat, actually.
Vashat.
Brought about is Vashat.
Vashat. And then sun is?
Course is Gati. Yeah.
Sun
Bhaskarasya
is Bhaskarasya. And
Gati.
course is Gati. So Bhaskarasya Gati Vashat Pravartinau. So that's the whole thing. Okay. All right. So let's go to the next one. I think this was not that difficult, but we had the 64125, the Abhyasa Lopa Etvam. Then we had the Pratyaya Quin, which we looked at these 2 special things. So next one is Vichi Lola Bhujayos Tayor Gatam Shaishava Chapalam Apyashobhata Toyadagama Ivodhya Bidyayor Namadheya Sadrisham Vicheshtitam. So Vichi Lola Bhujayos Tayor Gatam Shaishava Chapalam Apyashobhata Toyadagama Ivodhya Bidyayor Namadheya Sadrisham Vicheshtitam. The hardest part in this shloka is that Udhya Vidyayor. Now this is, we'll come to that what that is, but let's do the Padacheda is. Vichi lola bhujayoho tayoho gatam shaishavat chapalam api ashobhata. And toyada agame, it is toyada agame. This you have the echo yavaya sandhi followed by the lopashakallasya and then purvatra siddham. So you don't do the adgunaha. This is like your Arjuna Vacha. So there you don't do the further sandhi. So this is the echo yava, slightly different variation of that. Same sutram lopashakallasya, but you have here you have the echo yava sandhi. Toyadagame, it was Toyadagame, and in fact you see in the commentaries it's already done Toyadagame. Now example in the Gita for you, get some Gita action going, and the 10th adhyaya, Yesham loka imas prajaha, loka, Yesham loke should be. So let me give you the exact sandhi in Gita. The same sandhi comes in Gita. Little bit earlier than this one. Okay, let's see here. Here it is. Marsha saptapurve chatvaro manavastatha madbhava manasa jata yesham loka imaha prajaha. Should be loke imaha. See, loke plus imaha gives loka imaha. So same sandhi you have here. You have toyadagame iva. So this you can refer this Gita, this verse from the Gita. If you know Gita Vyakaranam well, it's a very, very wonderful thing to have. Then you can understand these also very. So 10.10.6 we'll put in the document now. So Gita 10.6. So you have toyada da ga me and then iva. So this is referred to Gita 10.6 because that'll give the same sandhi, because basically you are doing the echo yava yavaha, and so the sutra numbers are, you get the echo yava yavaha, which you already saw, 6178. Then you will have to do the lopashakallasya. The lopashakallasya comes in 8.3, and that number is 8319. I won't go through all details. And because of 821, because of purvatra siddham, you will not see you don't do the adgunaha. So no adgunaha. So no 61, I think 6187 is adgunaha. So no 6187, okay? So same sandhi as yesham loka imaha prajaha. So when you have the loka, so you have loke plus imaha. Okay. So first thing you will break the sandhis confidently. That's very
Satish,
important.
my
Yes.
first comment on Gita is in 412 also.
Oh, 412. Oh, here Wayne is coming strong. Okay. All right. Good job, Wayne. Let's look at 412. Okay. Thank you. 412. So let's look at 412. I'm sorry. I got excited with Wayne's comment.
Yeah.
I'm not used to Wayne. I'm not used to Wayne.
I'm not either.
Why is this not coming up here? Okay, let's see. There's something wrong. This. Okay.
See, even this Gita press is...
Even Gita Press is blinking now with Wayne's comments. Website is not working. Okay, something with the website. Okay,
Kankshataha karmanam siddhim yajanta iha devataha.
Yes, very good, very good. So Wayne is right. So let's look at also look at yajanta iha devataha. Very good. So it comes in, what's the number, Wayne, again?
412.
412. So Gita 4.12. Yajanta iha devataha. So yajante. So you should use ya, jan, te plus iha. So yajanta iha devataha. Thank you. So same sandhi there also in Gita 4.12. Thank you, Wayne. Good to see some Gita interest. Okay, so toyodagame iva. Now this udya bhijyayor. This is very special Pani Sutram for this. Then nama dheya sadrisham vicheshtitam. Nama dheya sadrisham vicheshtitam. So that is the whole shloka. What's the verb? Let's get some participation. What's the verb here, by the way? Anybody? What's the verb? Okay, Karthik has the verb. Yes, Karthik. What's the verb?
Ashobhata.
Ashobhata. What form is that?
That is lung.
Lang lakara, and it is
Lang.
what is the is Atmanepada or Parasmanepada? What is it?
It is Atmanepada.
Because look at the ending, right? So ta atam just is Atmanepada ending, and what gana is this dhatu most likely?
Shobhata.
Fourth.
It's
Probably going to be first gana itself, right?
first. Yeah, because it has probably a guna or something.
Yeah, so it might be, so dhatu could be either shob, dhatu could be shubha, could be shubha. So we have to check the dhatu, because the dhatu could have taken guna, become a shobhata. So just try to go to dhatu partha. If you look at dhatu partha, and I like this book, the Madhivya Dhatu Vritti, published by Ramlal Kapoor Trust. There's very few typos in that, and dhatu shubh is given over here. But dhatu shubha is in two ganas. It is in the first gana, and it is in Tudadi gana also in the sixth gana. Which one is this, Karthik? Which one do you think it is?
It'll be the first one because it takes
the
the
first
guna.
gana. Actually, there are 2, 3, 4 of them. My God, there is the. Okay, there are. Anyways, in first gana and fourth in sixth, and the sixth gana, it has to be the first gana taken guna. So it's third person singular. Atmanepada lang lakara, lang lakara. Now, what is the subject of that, Karthik? Maybe let me put it in the document. So, Ashobhata, so the form, and we won't go through because it's a simple form, won't do all the rules, become Ashobhata. It is like Alabhata, So, it is the third person, it is singular, it is Atmanepada. What's the subject of that? Karthik, what's the subject of that? Shobhata?
Can you show me the shloka?
Yeah, sure. Atmanepadam, and it is the lung lakara. So that's what it is. So put this one here. So it's a past tense. Okay. So now let's look at the shloka. What is the subject? Okay, here is it. So vichi lola bhujayoho. That cannot be it. This is shashti dvivachanam.
Yeah.
Then you have tayoho. It cannot be it. How about gatam? Can we use gatam as a subject of that?
Gatam. Chapalam. Yeah, probably. But it goes. Gatam goes with chapalam.
Yes, chapalam is an adjective to gatam.
Okay.
So adjective. Now, here is a point which I would like to make. Yes, that is the subject of Ashobhata, by the way. So gatam is neutral, nominative singular, is qualified by chapalam, and chapalam api. So their gait, their movement, even though it was a little bit kind of unsteady, chapalam. Even though it was unsteady, it looked very good. That's the meaning. But this form gatam now. See, normally we use it as a what we call this past passive participle, the pratyaya nishtha, taktavatu nishtha. Those are adjectives. This is a noun now. But this gatam is being qualified by chapalam. Let's go to the commentary. What does he say, Karthik? He says gatam equals gatihi. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
Gatam equals gati. So what he's trying to tell us is that this is a bhavarte pratyaya. This gatam is not that past parts, the participle which normally we are used to. Say Ramena Vali Hataha. So when Vali was killed by Rama. So Hataha is qualifying somebody else. But here, this gatam has become a noun. So sutram for that is Napumsake Bhavek Taha. Napumsake, and this one is important because you'll get kind of confused if you don't know this sutram. Napumsake bhavektaha. So you can create a neuter noun, a neuter, not adjective, because napumsake bhavektaha. In the meaning of the dhatu itself, you can create a neuter noun with napumsake bhavektaha. And that one will come right after the, it will be here, 33114. So napumsake bhavektaha. So by 33114, we actually created a neuter noun, which means, so gatam equals gatihi. So 33114, the gatam is a neuter noun. It's an abstract that bhava is abstract neuter noun, and like gatihi. So that's what Mallinatha is telling. See, all these commentaries are loaded comments. So you have to know a little bit of Vyakaranam to understand what they are saying. What is he trying to say when he says when he's telling us gatam equals gatihi? He's telling us that this is now a noun. It is a noun in the same sense as gatihi. So gatihi is a feminine noun. This is a neuter noun, but the meaning is the same. So this napumsake bhavektaha, this kta pratyaya is used, the form is the same, gata, but these will be neuter nouns. They will not qualify. So the way to understand this is two ways, by the way. There are two indications which will help you in understanding how this is a noun. The first indication is that with this noun you get a shashti connecting with it, not a tritiya. Look at the sentence now. Vichi lola bhujayo ho tayo ho Rama Lakshmana yo ho gatam. So it didn't say Rama Lakshmana abhyam gatam, not tabhyam. So when you say, normally when you use that passive participle, you get a tritiya vibhakti. Maya dattam, tena likhitam, arjunena uktam. So bhagavata adishtam. So the all will come tritiya. When you don't have tritiya, if you have a shashti instead there, then that is a red flag. That pratyakta is not the adjective ta, that is a noun ta. And this one is, I'll give you the Pani Sutram for that, is a Vartikam for this. Tasya cha vartamani is a Pani Sutram. Under that you have a Vartikam. That's number one. Second thing is that this will now be a neuter only. It will only be neuter. If it is not neuter, it is not this one. Because the Sutra says napumsake bhavektaha. So if it's not napumsake, then don't worry about it. It is not this one. So let me first, so I've already given this sutram napumsake bhavektaha. Let me give you the other sutram which will tell you this tasya cha vartamane. And that's the sutram. Let me find that for you. That will be in the 2.3 section, where Pani assigns all the vibhaktis, and that's 2367. Let's go to that one for a second. So the Shashti Vibhakti here was the key to understanding that this is not an adjective. This is not, it cannot be. Or it would have been into the, so let's go to 2367. Let's look at the Ashtadhyaya and see what's happening there. Yeah, this one can be confusing because we are so used to the other one that this one sometimes we don't pick it up. So you say balakasya hasitam tasyaha jalpitam mama likhitam. So this means the boys laugh. Balakasya hasitam. So balakasya tasyaha jalpitam. So her chatter tasyaha jalpitam. So these are going to be neuter nouns. So it has to be neuter, not anything else. And it takes a Shashti Bhakti with it also. Okay, let's look at 2367. So 2367 is the one that brings in the, it's the Vartikam in 2367, which is what we need. 2367 Vartikam. And Tasya cha vartamane. And there is a Vartikam under this one, I think. Here it is. Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. Napumsake bhave upasankhyanam. So Katyayana comes and says that Panini should have said that when you have this napumsake bhavyektaha, that should be included in this rule, which demands a shashti to be applied. It says Chatrasya hasitam is the boy's laugh. Mayurasya nrittam, it is the dancing of the peacock. Kokilasya vyahritam, it is the talk or the noise of the kokila. So so that's what is happening here. And what do we have? Tayoho gatam. So 23, what is the number there? 2369, I think it was 2369, which was let's look at this. Some of the numbers are a little bit off in that document, so be a little bit careful. Tasya cha vartamane is, so it's just, we're going to fix that soon, but it's
67.
67. 67, thank you. 2367, thank you, man. So by 2367, we have this. This is an important rule. Please remember that. So 2367 Vartikam will tell you that you have to look for the sixth case for Tayoho. That Tayoho comes in the sixth case. So the sixth case genitive with the my English spellings have become so bad now because genitive case with tayoho. Normally what would you have if you say, if you had tritiya vibhakti? You said Ramena vanam gatam. The forest was gone to by Rama. So you'll qualify vanam. Ramena vanam gatam. Maya griham gatam. The house was gone to by me. So so on and so forth. So the tritiya, you don't have tritiya. If you have tritiya, then this you don't have napumsake bhavyektaha. So remember these two things, and that the commentary is telling you this gati. He could have been more user friendly to us. If you have a Vyakaranam book, they will tell you bhavyektaha. They might even tell you napumsake bhavyektaha. But this is enough for us, because the fact that he's making gati as a noun, this could not be that adjective one which you're used to. Okay. So Karthik, so this is the subject of Ashobhata. So their movement, their gait, gati is gait in English, right? So their gait, even though it was unsteady, kind of fickle, what I call it, that looked very good. Now here we have an adjective to tayoho, vichi lola bhujayoho. Now what is the vigraha vakyam? Is he didn't give a vigraha vakyam. He only gave us the paryaya shabda here, the meaning. Taranga chanchala bhavoho. So he is now giving us alternate words for different. So vichi is taranga. Again, expand the vocabulary. Expand because we read more and more so that we can, I think there's a typo here also. I think it should be vichi. Yeah, I'm sorry. This book has some typos, Yeah, maybe I should use a different book, but this is a pretty good book. But anyway, that vichi, I think that first should be a dirgha. So vichi, please correct that. So vichi becomes taranga. So vichi is a wave. Vichi is a wave. I think this word comes, I think, in the Viveka Chudamani, vichi. So let's say Gita and the Devi Mahatmyam, the Viveka Chudamani also is a good text to read. It has the same, for those who like Vedanta Shastram, because it has also about 600 verses, and it is also beautifully composed in the same difficulty level as Gita. I think Vichi comes in there. I think Vichi is not in Gita. Vichi. Anyway, so Vichi is Taranga, is a wave. Lola is Chanchala. Dhatu Lul. This is to Lola. So Lola, and then Chanchala. What can we, so first of all, maybe Karthik, can you do a Vigraha Vakyam for me here? What kind of samasa is this? Vichi,
this is
Lola.
Bahuvrihi.
It's ultimately a Bahuvrihi.
Bahuvrihi.
Now, but Vichi Lola is qualifying Bhuja. What kind of compound is that?
Vichi.
Lola is Chanchala. So Taranga, let's make it simple. Taranga Chanchala. Taranga Chanchala. This is a difficult question, but this is a Karmadharya Samasa in which you have an Upama inside there. And there are two kinds. There are two kinds. There are two sutras of Panini. This is like Megha Shama. So Megha iva Shamaha, Megha Shamaha, Bhagavan Shri Krishna. So Taranga Chanchala, the Samanya Dharma is in the compound. The Samanya Dharma is in the compound. The Shamaha or Chanchala is in the compound. As opposed to Purusha Vyagraha. Now he says Purusha Vyagraha iva. But Kasmat Karanad iva. So what is the Samanya Dharma kutra asti? Kaha asti? So you can say Samana Shauryam asti. They are both equally powerful, equally brave, you know. So that Samanya Dharma is not in that compound. There also has similes there. We say Purusha Vyagraha, or we can say Narashardula, Mukha Kamala, you know, Ramachandra. These are all compound with also similes involved. So there are two of them. You either have the Samana Dharma is in the compound, it's not in the compound. These come in Ashtadhyayi in 2 dot in. So that is why he's not giving it to us, okay? Because this is straightforward Ashtadhyayi Sutram, so which we are supposed to know. Because Megha Shyama, we are supposed to know how Megha Shyama is formed. If you know how Megha Shyama is formed, then you can form Taranga Chanchala in the same way. So let's look at this for 1 second. All these Karmadharas come at end of 2.1. In Ashtadhyayi, all samasas, the samasa vidhayaka sutrani, they're all in 2.1 and 2.2. If you want to form a compound, you have to find one sutram in 2.1 or 2.2 to form this compound. Within that, from 2122 to 2222 is Tatpurusha. From 2122 to 2222. And within that, the first part is Karmadharyas. It gives, I shouldn't say first part. The end of 2.1 is Karmadharya, because he talks about this Samadhi Karana. From 2149 to end of 21 is Karmadharyas. And there he gives, see, Upamanani Samanya Vachanaihi. So Samanya Vachanam should be there. Upamanani. So the Upamanani will go first. We won't spend too much time on Samasa, but in Samasa what happens is that if you look at the Sutram, whatever is in the Prathama Vibhakti in the Sutram will go first in the Samasa. So because this is another Sutram which says Upasajanam Purvam. So there are two sutras which come into play, which we won't go in detail today because it takes too much time. But the one Sutram says is that Prathama Nirdishtam Samasa Upasajanam Purvam. And these two tell you that whatever is in the Prathama in this, so we have Upamanani. So when you say Megha Shyamaha, the Upama, the Upamanam, the simile, the Megha is a simile. In our case is Taranga or Vichi. Samanya Vachanaihi. So that is the Samana Dharma which is there. The next one is Upamitam. Say Purusha Vyagra. So Purusha is the one who is being compared to something. Upamitam he is. Vyagra Adibhi. Samanya Aprayoge. So Samanya Prayoga is not there. Then you use 2156. Otherwise you use 2155. But this one we need 2155. So the Vichi Lola is by 2155. Upamanani Samanya Vachanaihi. The Samanya Vachanaihi is in Tritiya. So that's going to go in the second member. The first member is going to be this Upamanam. So let me put in the document. So 2155 is so that's the samasa which you have to form first, and that is the Vichi Lola qualifying Bhuja. So Vichi Lola. So Vichi Lola Bhujau. Let's make it, and then as Karthik said, now we can make the so Vichi Lola we can make it by 2155. Okay, so that was the one which I wanted to point out to you. These two kind of Karmadharya compounds both have the Upama in there. One, the Samanya Dharma is in the compound, one is not in the compound. Lul is to like shake about, so Lola is one who's like unsteady, shaking. So Vichi Lola. So let's finish this up now. I think we got the gist of it. So Vichi Lola, and so that he and Karthik did the second part for us. So Taranga Chanchalau or Vichi Lolau. So Bhujau Yayoho Tau. So he does, the Mulinatha only gave us Paryaya Shabdas. See Vichi he made into Taranga. Again, correct the typo here please. Make it Vichi. Lola is Chanchala and Bhuja is Bahu. So that's qualifying that. Now what is this? But he makes a comment now. idam visheshanam nadopamana siddhyartham veditavyam. So idam visheshanam, this adjective which is given here. Why is he giving us that? Nadopamana siddhyartham. So nada upamana. There's upama coming down here of two streams of water, two streams. So in order to make sense of the upama, Kalidasa has used visheshanam, so it fits in with the upama which is coming down below there. So idam visheshanam nadopamana means the simile of the nada. Nada is means like a stream of water. It's a masculine word, like nadi is feminine word. This nada is a masculine word. Actually, nada is to sound, because the streams make sound. When they're flowing, the streams make sound. So it's called nadi or nada. Nadopamana siddhyartham. So in order to complete that, or in order to construct that simile, we have this adjective. Iti veditavyam. So we have to understand. It is to be understood that this adjective is put here to complete or to make sense or to construct the simile of the stream. That's why he's given the vichi, because their hands were like the waves of that stream. Okay? I'm sorry. Okay. So let's see. Toya dagame, Karthikam, what can you say about that?
Toya dagame.
Varsha samaye. Varsha samaye. Agama is coming. So on the ad, so this is, what kind of saptami is this, Karthikam?
So this is Sati Saptami.
Yeah, you can take it, or you can just take it. Adhikarana, can we take it? Toya dagame. Which one do you think it is? It is probably only Adhikarana, Karthikam, because see, when you have Sati Saptami, generally you have the participle separate, and the commentary will say that Sati. Toyada agame sati. I guess it could be Toyada agame sati. So on the coming of the monsoon, Varsha samaye. So at that time. So at the coming. So at the time of, so this is the Varsha samaye, is at the time of the coming of the Toyada. Toya is water, and Toyada is one who gives water. Toyada. We saw it in yesterday's class, is that this is Upada Samasa. He's not giving us. Yeah, I think Karthik, you're probably right. We can probably use Sati Saptami. Toyadagame Sati. We can probably make that. That's good. So Toyadagame Sati, because see, normally Saptami is come in three meanings. See, Deshe, Kale, Samaye it can be, But Samaye, when you do, you normally have like a Kala Vachika Shabda, like Dine, Mase, Varshe, Samvatsare, those kind of Shabdas. For Deshe, of course, you can do, like you can say Bharat Deshe or Asmin Sthane, or you can say Sthane. And then you have the, you can also have the, what is called as the, in reference to, Asmin Vishaye Saptami. This is not Vishaye, definitely. It's not in the matter of, the subject matter of, it's not that. It's also not Deshe. Only it could be Samaye. But Samaye generally would require, it should be at that, it should be a time unit. But here we don't have that. We have Toyadagame. So I think Karthik is right, because Toyadagame Sati. So on the coming of the monsoon. Toyada, Toya is water. Toya Dhatu is Da. Again, no commentary. It's a very common samasa. So in Lalita Sahasranama, Annada, Vasudha, Vruddha, right? Anybody who chants Lalita Sahasranama Stotram, Annada, Vasudha. So Toyada we have over here. So Toyada is Varsha Samaye. So now, what kind of samasa is this? Again, we have Upada Samasa. We have so Toyam Dadati iti Toyadaha. It could also be a cloud, by the way. So Toyada is a common expression for a cloud also. But this is not cloud. This is the monsoon. Now, if you look at this sutra, I won't go through all detail, but I think we saw in yesterday's class. And that one is the Atonupasarge Kaha. Atonupasarge Kaha is Karmanyan is default sutram, and below that you have Ato Anupasarge Kaha. If you have a karma is upapada, so we have Toya as the karma because he gives water. So water is the object, and you have Adanta Dhatu, which is Da. No upasarga is there. Pratyaya Ka is used. So you have the, if you want to make the alaukika vigraha, you would have to make it into like this. You would say toya, and then you have to make it when it gives water, then make it da, and then use the pratyaya ka. Now, we'll give Karthik a special prize if he can tell me what sutra will remove that a. Very special. Anybody in the class? What sutra can remove that a? First of all, the ka is an itba lashakva taddite, so we'll get the a only. Can you tell me how? Because we need to remove that a of da over there. Anuji will know this. I think, let me see if she knows this. Let me see. Let me see. Anuji, are you there?
Yeah. Yes, Satishji.
You remember this one?
Could it be Ato Lopo?
Very
E teacher?
teacher. Ato lopa e teacher. Very good. Ato lopa 6464. 6464. 6464. Ato lopa e teacher. What it says that if you have a adantanga and it's followed by an ajadi pratyaya, which is kit or nit, and the pratyaya should be ardha dhatuka, then the akara drops. Ato lopa e teacher. Or it has to be an idagama should be there, which we don't have. So it's ajadi, kit, kiti, niti, ardha dhatuke. Adantangasya lopasyat. So that will be, so it become, thank you. So so that's what make it into this da becomes the, and so we first use the 3-2-3, and then we applied, so this is same again, the same routine. We use adhyayas 3-4-5, put the blocks together, then do the angakaryam 3-2-3, then this, so that makes this da into, so it changes, let's put like this, maybe the a drops by the a of da drops by 3-2-3, and then I mean sorry, by 6-4-64, drops by 6-4-64. Okay, and of course this will go by 2-4-71 as usual, which we saw before, by the supo dhatu pradibidika yoho, so toyada. Okay, so then we got toyada agame sati varsha samaya. Now the hard part here is that this udya vidya yor. Now these are specific terms which are defined by Panini in this sutram, udya vidya yoho. Let me look at, he gives sutram for you right here. It's 31115. Okay, now these are really, should be potential participles. They should be passive. But in this case, they are actually active. And what is sutram says, vidyo dhyau nade. Vidyo dhyau nade. Now, I must be very honest with you. This you will not see it almost anywhere again in your life probably. Because these are very specific words. This is one of the issues you have with like Kalidas or like Bhatti. They put these words just to teach you Panini Vyakaranam. They are not in common use at all. Zero. I shouldn't say zero, but very rare usages. So this shloka is constructed by Kalidasa with one intention, is to teach you that rule 31115. Vidya udhyau nade. Otherwise, you will never understand the meaning of what this means. Actually, dhatu vidya is that which to be split. But here what he means is that it's a river which flows, kind of tearing its banks. And ujja is dhatu uj is to throw. So it is a river which goes splashing water. So he gives it down here. Ujjati udakam iti udhyaha. So dhatu uj dhatu uj. And ujjata, uj is to tyaj, uj like means to throw out, to toss away. So ujjati. Here itself we have a problem here, right here, because these kritya pratyas are supposed to be in the passive. They're not supposed to be used in active voice. But Panini has a special rule for these two, vidya and udya, because they can be used when they refer to a stream of water only. See, this is what I mean. This is a specific usage, only for the streams of water. And actually, some people have been criticized that they're saying that, vidya and udya in very old times somewhere in India there may have been these rivers called Udya and Vidya. Sampratam na jnayate. You cannot know where they are now. Maybe Panini knew them. In fact, some of the commentators on the shloka, they are saying that we wonder even if Kalidasa knew where these Udya and Vidya were rivers were. Or it could be referring to any rivers who basically have these characteristic of either tossing water out or kind of bursting their banks. Anyway, it doesn't matter to us whether the river were there or not, or Panini knew them, or Kalidasa knew them or not. It's okay. But what Vyakaranam wise is we have to see this sutram which Mulinath has given us. First of all, let me remind you that all krut pratyayas are in the active sense by kartari krit, but that has a major exception. So 3467 says kartari krit. So that would be fine, but then 3470 says tayoreva kritya takkalarthaha. The kritya pratyaya, which is what we have right now. Kritya pratyaya is what is the kritya itself is a kritya. The kritya is a potential participle dhatu kru, and that kritya has now become a name for those class of pratyayas. They will come tayoreva, bhava karmanoho eva. They will only be in the passive. So therefore we have a problem. We want them to be in the active. We want it to refer to the river which is throwing out water, not which is being thrown out, which is throwing out. So here bhidya ujjav nade. Let's look at it quickly in 1 second. Bhidya ujjav nade, and so that is the hard part of this verse. Okay, that's the bhidya ujja. But if you look at the commentary, you can go to the and let's quickly give you a flavor of the commentary over here on 31115. And because once we get this one, the rest of the shloka is easy after this one. So bhidya ujjav nade, bhidya ujjav nade, and there he says nyasaha. He says kartari kyap nipatyate. See what nyasa says. Kartari kyap nipatyate is that by mentioning these two words, Panini is telling you is that these two can be used in the active sense when they refer to a stream of water. Okay, and not only that, this one is one more thing is that dhatu uj. Uj is becoming dha. The entire dhatu uj became dha, and ud dhya. So we have upasarga ud, and we had the dhatu uj. So we really had what we have, I should say, is ud plus we had ujja, and then we had this pratyaya kyap. Anubandha lope will be only ya because of halantim and lashakota jate. The entire ujja became dha. By what? Because just Panini, see, what's called nipatyate. Nipatyate means Panini gives a ready-made form. He doesn't want to waste additional rules which are not required anywhere else. So this nipatanam is a Panini device where he will just say, take this form as it is. But then what the Bhashyam and the commentators they do, they reverse engineer that form. So why is Panini saying giving nipatanam? Could he not use the rule which he already has? No, because he's saying that there's no point forming 2-3 more rules just for this one, accept this form as it is. So then they say, that ud plus ujja was involved. Panini wants to make the ujja into dha, so he's giving nipatanam. So this nipatanam is this entire uj became dha, and that's just the usage in the language. This is the way this word was. So Panini saw it, so he put it here, and he said that this is the way this word is to be used. It is just there's no other. And then you can, if we went to the commentary, so what it says, ujjehe dhattam cha nipatyate, and he gives bhinatti kulam iti bhidyaha. Same problem here is that it is supposed to be passive, became active. At least the dhatu bhid is intact over there. So bhid is to split or to tear apart. Bhedanam. Ujjati udakam iti udhyaha. It tosses water. Okay, it's only when it's another. Otherwise, it should be bhetta and ujjita. One who splits or one who tosses out should be bhetta and ujjita. And even Nyasaka, this, if you look at the Tattva Bodhini, says, oh, here it is. look at this. In Tattva Bodhini Comedy Siddhanta Kaumudi, he quotes Raghuvamsha. Because this is probably the only verse in the whole language where you have the form Udya and Vidya. Look at what he says. Toyada agama iva Udya Vidyayor nama deya sadrisham iti Raghuvamsha. So he wants to make sure that somebody has used this word somewhere. So this is what he's saying. Anyway, so these two are special forms which are very, very rare forms. They are potential participle forms. Should have been in the passive, but because Panini said when they refer to a river, they can be active. So we accept them as they are. Okay. So let's finish this up now. So then what he's saying after that is iti khyab antau nipatitau. Khyab antau nipatitau. This khyab has been applied here by nipata, means that nipatitau means they take it as it's a ready-made form. Udya bhidyayor. Then he gives nada visheshayoho. So there are two special rivers. And it's a shashti. And then vicheshtitam. So udya bhidyayor vicheshtitam. So the gate of Rama and Lakshmana was like the action or the activity or the movement of vicheshtitam of these two rivers. So their hands were prancing around like the waves of these two rivers. These two kind of agitated rivers, and then we'll come back to this in a second. In the meanwhile, he has an adjective for the vicheshtitam, nama dheya sadrisham, namanurupam. So the activity of these two rivers was sadrisham, was similar, was in keeping with to their names. So the water in these rivers was in accordance, their action was in accordance with their names. So the water was tossing about and they were kind of splashing on the banks. So this namanurupam vicheshtitam iva. This namadheya is also a Paniniya. This is a very special form. This word dheya. Namadheya simply means nama only. It is also another name for name. This is namadheya. And I think this is all coming under the Vartikam on 5425 this word namadheya is formed. It says bhagarupa namabhyo dheya. So pratyaya is dheya. It comes as in 5425. Let's put the number. We're running out of time, I know. So this namadheyam, you can look at the rule number 24. We won't go into all details, but namadheya is formed as a tadita form from the word nama. So namadheyam, you can look at Vartikam on 5425. If you want to look at in detail on your own, you can read it up. So 5425. So let's finish it up now. It says udaka ujjana means tossing of water. Udaka ujjana. Kula bhedana means tearing the banks. Rupa vyaparaha iva. So their activities, their action was like the tossing out of water or tearing their banks. Then he says, last one he makes a comment now. He makes a comment on his own. What comment is he making now? Samayotpannam chapalam api shobhate iti bhavaha. So what's the bhavaha? What's the intent of this shloka? He's commenting on this. This is his own vakyam. This is Malinatha's own commentary on here. Is samayotpannam chapalam. So chapalasya bhava chapalam. So the kind of the fickleness or agitatedness, unsteadiness, which is samayotpannam, which has come due to their age, because they were young boys, is that this chapalam api shobhate. Even though they're unsteady and fickle, kind of moving, prancing around, even that looks good because it is appropriate to their coming of age. Now, how does the simile fit in there? Stoyadagame. So when the rainy season came, then these rivers started acting up like that. So similarly, shaishavat. Shaishavam is shishoho bhavaha shaishavam. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. So shishoho bhavaha. So under the last sutram for the day, I think. So let's go to tayor bhavaha tvatalau. Tasya bhavaha, sorry. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. This is a very nice compact section coming end of 5.1, where Panini gives all his pratyas, which is in the sense of thatness. So Shishu is a young boy, young child. And then, so because of childhood, so childhood in English is also tadita from childhood. So Shaishavam is boyhood, childhood. Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. And this Shaishavam is you have to form this pratyaya, which is, let's see, Shancha. So under here, you should have the pratyaya and. See, so Shishu. So Shishu is Igantacha Laghu Purvat. I think that we can probably use that. If you have, let's go to 5.1.131, last sutram for the day. I think this one should work for us. Okay, so let's look at 5.1.131, and this is a section which starts with 5.1.119. Tasya bhavaha. Because how did I find it so fast? I'll tell you how I found it so fast. First of all, I know the meaning, because I know the meaning is from boyhood or childhood. So then I know I have to look in that section of Tasya bhavaha tvatalau. So that Tasya bhava section is well known in Ashtadhyayi. And this one says, this one is Tasya bhava. I think number is off by one here, probably 119. And then I know what pratyaya do I want. I want to go from Shishu to Shaishavam. So Shishu to Shaishavam. So I want to get the pratyaya A in there. So then I know I'd look at this pratyaya and is probably coming here. And it is the one Igantacha Laghu Purvat. Igantacha Laghu Purvat. So if you have the dhatu, which is, I'm sorry, Pratipadikam, not dhatu, Pratipadikam with Iganta. So we have Shishu. The U is Iganta. And Laghu Purvat should be Laghu Purvat. So what example does he give here is that you can say, Shuchehe Bhavaha Shaucham. Shaucham, is cleanliness. So it says Munehe Bhavaha Maunam. So Maunam is is like the status, the sageness, the condition or the status of a sage is Maunam. It means silence, but it's what it comes from. Shaucham is cleanliness. So you can say Shishoha Bhavaha Shaishavam. Now we need one more I always say this, but okay, one more rule, because we need to get this form down. So we can start with okay. So let's start with Shishu, and then make the pratyaya and this comes in Tasya Bhavaha. Now notice this. I think, is there a commentary? There's probably no commentary on this, because Shaishavad Hetoho. That's all he says on account. So what kind of Panchami is this? Is Hetoho, means because that reason, due to their childhood or their boyhood. So he doesn't give us because this we are supposed to know, Shaishavad. So now when we add the pratyaya and, the sutram which we are using is this Iganta. So 5.1.131 we have used to bring in that pratyaya, and we can then use we need two sutras to make the Adivriddhi, make it Shi become Shaishavam, and that's the last sutra in 7.2, or second last stage. Taditeshu achamadehe. In Tadita Pratyaya, if you have this nas in it or nyas in it, then it takes an Adivriddhi. The Shi becomes Shai, and that's the last sutram in 7.2. Second last. Taditeshu achamadehe. I think it's 7.2, probably 1.1. 117. So 7.2.117, and we need one more thing, which we need to make the guna of this U to make it into O, become Shai. Then do Ho. Then we can do the Ho Yavayavaha, make it Shai Shavam. So what we need to do is get the guna. I'll give you the number. You can look it up on your own because we are out of time now. So I'll give you the number for that. It comes in 6.4 in the Bhasya Adhikara. Because this now, because of Sutram Yachibham, this Anga has the Bhasanya, and that's 1.4.18, and the Bhasya Adhikara starts from 6.4.129. Under that we have the Sutram which says Or Gunaha, so 6.4.146. So use 1.4.18 and then 6.4.146 to do Or Gunaha. So you got Shaishavam. So because their boyhood had come, they were prancing around. So just like when the rainy season comes, these two rivers, they act up. And so the simple meaning is that is their fickleness, their prancing looked very good because it was on account of their coming into boyhood. And they were two whose arms were moving around like waves, like moving like unsteady like waves. Just like these two special rivers called Ujja and Vidya, whose movement is in keeping with their names. Namadheya Sadrisham. Okay, Karthik, you finish up for us. We do the English. Okay, let's see what he gives. So, with lissom arms like dancing waves. What is that?
Vicha Lola Bhujayoho.
So, Vichi Lola Bhujayoho.
Vichi Lola Bhujayoho.
Arms is the Bhuja, and lissam is this Lola.
Lola.
Like dancing waves is this Vichi Lola. Waves is Vichi. They paced on unsteadily.
Gatam Chapalam.
So basically, we should say they is for Tayoho.
Tayoho.
So they are pacing. Their unsteady pacing should be said. So pacing is the gatam. Again, which we saw is napumsake bhave ektaha. It's a neuter noun. And then it says chapalam. Their unsteady movements pacing, which was fair to behold.
Ashobhata.
Ashobhata. So and I think he forgot the api. So even though it was unsteady, it was still fair to behold. It still looked good on account of their tender age.
Shaishavat.
Shaishavat. Tender. We saw Shishoho Bhavaha Shaishavam. Like the streams Ujja and Vidya.
Iva Vidya.
Iva is the like, correct?
Like.
Then Ujja Vidya Yor. So that is like the streams that flow on. I mean, that is I think their
Vicheshtitam.
And flooding and tearing the banks is what we saw. The flooding is the Ujja, Ujja, and tearing the banks is the Vidya, special by the rule 31115, special forms, as suits their names.
Namadheya Sadrisham.
Namadheya Sadrisham. Okay, so we did in great detail. We're doing only 2 shlokas per class, 2 or 3, but maybe we'll speed up as we get, I'll start skipping some sutras. After you pass a few months, maybe we'll start skipping. If it's too much detail, just email me and we'll try to, I think but since we just started out, I wanted to give as much detail as possible. I believe for the recording, people may not know all the details.
I think he has skipped the Toyadagame in the meaning.
Oh, yes, thank you. Yes, you're right. Oh, yes, didn't notice that. Toyadagame has been skipped. Yeah. Okay, that's important because just when their boyhood came, just similarly when the monsoon came, so let's put in here. So like the streams flow on the coming of the rainy season, on the coming of the monsoon. We have to put one here in here. So Toyadagame Sati. So on the coming of the monsoon. Thank you. So Toyadagame has been missed in the translation. And then, okay, thank you. So Toyadagame. I'll stay back for questions. Let's stop the class. It's already 8 minutes late. So Ramo Raja Manis Sada Vijayate Ramam Ramesham Vijay. Ramena Bhiyata Nishachara Chamu Ramaya Tasmai Namaha Rama Nasti Parayanam Parataram Ramasya Dasosmyaham Rame Chittale Sada Bhotame Bhorama Mahamudhara Rama Rameti Rameti Rame Rame Manorame Sahasanam Tattulyam Rama Nama Varanane Sri Rama Nama Varanana On Nama Iti. Okay.